everything is, which leads us to the main story in the news. LA is burning.
Yeah, literally.
LA is burning. And the reason it is burning is because people are upset that Donald Trump is doing what he said he was going to do when he got elected. He said he was going to get rid of the illegals, not the Mexican Americans. If you were born in this country, no matter what your skin color, you are an American citizen. But if you stuck across the border, you don't belong here.
Oh, shit!
And Donald Trump is doing what he said he was going to do. So, Dom, you have people waving Mexican flags, burning American flags because they want to stay in America and not go back to Mexico.
That's crazy.
Am I misconstruing this?
Man. You got it.
Listen, I've been here for 12 years. I can't even fathom burning an American flag and then saying, oh, yeah, bro, I'm from Mexico. Dude, I'm glad to be here. I made it here. You know, we made it happen. We're surviving, doing pretty good. Why even fucking... Why are you here? Just go back to where you're from, then. Dude, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense. What's worse is the people that believe the bullshit. They're worse than the people that spew it. You have people out here pushing this, saying that, I mean, it's a lot of women, too, that believes this shit I've talked to. Oh, I can't believe what ICE is doing. They rather let these people. Why can't they let them just be free? It's like, what's this logic?
A country has borders, that's why.
We can't do it in Mexico, though. They won't allow us to hop over the border and say,
you know what? I'll tell you protesters what. The day I can go to Mexico and wave an American flag while burning a Mexican flag and nothing happens to me and I'm completely safe, then I will support your bullshit. Until that day happens, mwah.
They wouldn't have no time for it.
So what's the solution? What's the solution? Donald Trump's solution is to put in the National Guard, and when that doesn't work, because the National Guard can only do so much.
Yeah.
You bring in the Marines. And let me tell you something,
700
man.
Marines.
You don't understand the difference between a Marine and a National Guardsman. A National Guardsman, this is a part-time job for him. He's actually a civilian. Half the time he's doing something, for the military. He's not a real soldier, but he has some training. People who are Marines, they live, breathe this shit the same way a Muslim does the Quran. This is what they do. And if Donald Trump tells you to stop the protesters, he's going to stop the protesters. I want to guarantee you, Donald Trump is going to do what he says he's going to do. And I'm warning people out there right now, if you try to make this violent, it's not going to go in your favor.
Yep.
People are fed up. And it's not just us white people or, depending on who you're talking to, us Jews. Black people don't like this shit either.
No.
Something's going on in America, bro. I can't put my finger on it. Just kidding here. But the point is that, something eerie is happening. And it's happening right before our eyes. My thing is, though, this whole debacle, I feel like it's created to happen at some point, bro. This whole, riot protesting, it was too coincidental. It happens right here, right now, after this whole Donald Trump debacle. Something's happening in the economy, bro, where, something bad is about to happen, bro. Something.
Well, LA is kind of notorious for riots, too, though. It's got a long history.
But it's good that you guys bring that up. It is notorious. When was the last big riot in LA?
Was it 2016?
No, it was 1992.
Oh, you talking about that?
Yeah, Rodney King. That was the real big riot. And it's interesting that the biggest riot since 1992, and again, those were over race. Now they're trying to make these over race. Was 33 years apart. That right there tells me
33.
the people in the inside have planned this. And let me tell you something. It does not take much to sow division.
Wow, so
It does not take much to sow division. I'll give you an example. A lot of white supremacists want this country to be lily white. And they'll bring up the example that, if America was 90% white, we wouldn't have these problems. But guess what? They'll find a way to divide you. It will be between Christians and Protestants, Christians and Catholics. If you have one race, they'll divide you between religion. Now, when you have different races involved, they're going to start using racism.
Yeah.
So you have one step, two step to divide people. And the last one is class warfare, communism against capitalism. So these people who we call the Illuminati, Babylonian Brotherhood, they have their people all over the world. And they can basically do a step here, make a step here, and make sure they wind everything up. I'll give you an example. 2011, there was something called the Arab Spring. where people in the Arab world started, rising up against their so-called dictators. And one of the things that people learned was about a month before the Arab Spring started, they cut off the grain supplies. So that forced the food prices to go up, and that's why people started rioting. So they made sure they got the people rioting when they wanted to. And they have these mechanisms all over the world, whether it's through banking, military, anything, vaccine. They can do it any which way they want, Fresh.
Yeah, and just out to your point, so their slogan is actually pretty simple and in plain sight, but it is out of chaos comes order.
Yeah.
So they create the problem, and then the solution is said, oh, wait, we fixed it for you. Trust in us. And before you know it, I guarantee you, there's going to be a big event. I don't know what it's going to be, either signs and wonders, miracles, or even aliens comes to Earth, and then they're going to say, oh, problem is going to be fixed with this solution. And then we're going to say, okay, help us, government. Help us survive this fucking downfall. But again, they set it up from the very beginning, like you said. They'll plan the whole thing out and say, here's the problem, guys. We need to fix it. Bring a savior, and I fix it. And then before you know it, you're like, please save us. And then you're cooked.
Problem, reaction, solution. This is how they work. They start the problem.
Yeah.
They know what the reaction is going to be. They steer it with the media, and then they offer the solution. It was right there, just like COVID.
Yeah.
They had the vaccine ready before COVID even started.
Yeah.
They had the solution ready. And by the way, it was me who got suspended on Twitter March 2020 because I told people 9 months before it happened, do not take the vaccine. I already knew where this was coming.
Yeah.
You ain't going to fool me. Tom, how bad is this going to get?
It just depends on how far the Mexicans, well, not Mexicans, say migrants. I don't know these people, but they hold the Mexican flags. Shit, if they hold up a Mexican flag, I can't call them Italians. So they got to choose different flags too. But if they start to attack police with guns, I've seen some videos. If we get reported deaths of police, I think it'll reach a climax. And I think that if we did go into a Latin race war, it'll be 10 times worse than black.
But okay, for example, isn't Nick like half white, half Mexican?
Fuentes.
Yeah.
So he's pushing for white supremacy, right? For the most part. But he's also Mexican. Doesn't that like play into like this whole Mexican thing as well? Because I guess for him it's like, isn't he on that side instead of Mexican side? I don't know.
Listen, I want to make this statement. Most of the people in GG33 who are American Mexicans who were born in this country or immigrated to this country are 100% with Trump.
Right.
I don't believe what you see in the media. Most of the people who are with Trump, who are Mexicans and American citizens, they support what Trump is doing. What you have there is a fringe minority who basically think they own California. So let me make this clear for everyone who's listening. You have to win wars to dictate terms. Mexico got its ass whooped in 1848. They signed the declaration. They gave away California and Texas because we went all the way down to Mexico City and took your capital. And by the way, from an astrology point of view, 1848 is the year of the monkey. So, of course, a monkey nation founded in 1776 is going to win a war in a monkey year. So, again, a little metaphysics for you. But when it comes down to it, I want you guys to understand. Same thing with Palestinians. Because you see that now they're talking about free California, just like free Palestine. To my brown friends,
That's crazy.
You have to start winning wars to dictate terms. Israel won wars in 48. Israel won wars in 67. In 73, you attacked them, they won. Now, you can say American weapons all you want. They were getting weapons from the Soviet Union. You have to win wars. And because white people and their ancestors invested in technology, invested in education, they created better weapons and they won wars.
Yeah.
This is what happened. This is reality. You can call it stolen land. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. The reality is people who win wars dictate terms. There's a tribe called the Moors.
Yeah.
And what did the Moors do? They conquered Spain for 700 years. You know all those people in Spain who are brownish? They used to be white.
Yeah.
They used to be as white as the French. What happened? The Moors came in there, pillaged, raped the women, and all of a sudden they got a little more darker. This is what happens. People have won. The Chinese, the Ming Dynasty, they were around for how many centuries? They were dictating terms. They were raping and pillaging. So whoever's number one does what they have to do to stay number one. This is not racism. This is natural order of things.
Also, whoever wins the war does history books. Those determine what's going to be in books that you read in school, and then say, this is what it is, this is your history. Even though it might be false.
I mean, the victors write the history, but one thing is true. Whoever wins the war dictates terms. So again, to the Palestinians, to the Mexicans, win wars, and then you can dictate terms. But you know what? The Mexicans don't even have an air force.
No.
Bro, their president is a Jewish woman, bro. like, dude, that kills me, bro. Like, dude, how is a masculine community, our society like Mexico, putting a woman in power? I don't understand this, bro.
I'll tell you how. They killed 35 male candidates for her to win an election.
What?
Yeah,
The cartels killed 35 men for a woman to come into power.
yeah, they had a lot of deaths.
35 niggas
Around there. That might not be the exact number, but it was definitely around that mark.
for a woman to win?
Yep. They killed men literally for a woman to win. And this is the difference between the United States of America and Mexico. Because they tried to get Trump. They tried.
They did try.
But in this country, we do things a little bit differently. And here's the thing. All of you want to come to this nation. Like what? Maybe 5,000, 10,000 Americans go to retire in Mexico every year? Mm-hmm. Sure, throw the white people out. I'm cool. But you taking yours back too, bro. It is what it is. And I want to make this clear. I am not anti-immigration. Are you a legal citizen?
Yeah,
You went through the process, didn't you?
100%.
How long did